Welcome back to our channel, guys. In today's video, we are going to be talking about
our RunDisney experience. All right, so the first process of RunDisney is obviously booking your race. And what we decided to do in 2018, decided to run the 2019 Disney Princess Half Marathon. At the time, we were annual pass members, so we were able to do a pre-book to get our spot. I guess that's what you call it, pre-book. We were able to go ahead and buy our race spot before it went on sale to the public. Yes. So that was awesome.
Also, I think I was in the queue for like 5 minutes, had no idea the intensity, because I had never done this before. We had never even thought about doing RunDisney before then. So we had no idea how intense it was, but it wasn't intense at all for that race.
Now, Samantha had been running prior to that.
January 1 of 18 is when I started my running journey.
Me, on the other hand, zero running. I hate running. Well, I'll say I hated running. I still don't really enjoy running.
No, I have to make
does.
him.
But that gave us what we thought plenty of time to get ready
for a half marathon.
We've never done anything higher than probably what, like a 10K maybe? I don't even think 10K. But
no.
Anyways,
maybe like a 5K.
A big lofty goal to get ready, and the journey to get ready for February was different, I will say. We did all of our training. We got what we thought would be ready to at least finish the race. That was the main goal. On this trip, we invited a friend. And anyways, we get down there. We got down there prior to our run. And we had a few days in the parks.
Like a half a day and a full day.
Which the night before, obviously we wanted to go to sleep really early because you have to wake up extremely early to get down to Epcot where the race started for us. We stayed at the Holiday Inn Express at Disney Springs. Beautiful hotel. We love staying there. If we ever stay there again prior to a race, we will request a room away from the swimming pool because it does get very loud. But anyways, so we get a good night's sleep. We wake up really early. I think we woke up about 2 o'clock.
I think it was closer to 3. I think it was like 2:45.
Okay, so yeah, closer to 3. Got up, showered, got our gear together, stretched, spent a lot of time stretching before we went to sleep, and a lot of time stretching after we woke up, before we went. Staying on property, but technically off property is what I like to call it. We drove ourselves down. We didn't take the bus, which I don't even know if it was available.
If we would have anyways, though.
So we got there really early, kind of wandered around.
Yeah, they'll have like a huge stage set up where like there's a DJ and there's characters you can meet, and there's all kinds of entertainment like jumbotrons, and then there's tons of porta potties, which is great because there's tons of people there. And I used the bathroom like 15 times before we started a race because, you have to hydrate. And my nerves was all over the place because this is the first time that we ever did anything like this. And I had trained for a little over a year, and
So we get there, obviously it's really early in the morning. It's still dark. Like she said, they've got a DJ going and it's fun. And then started making our way to the corral, which was it was a long walk.
Yeah,
maybe
it was probably about a half mile, And the crowds, I mean, there was a little over 20,000 people in this race, and their crowds are like A through H or something for this race, and then they had like, I think there was even a start before A. It was like the wheelchairs.
Yes, the special needs.
Yeah, so we knew we'd be waiting a long time, and every time we saw porta potties, we would go to we were walking to our corral, we would go to the porta potty, and I'm like, I gotta go because I just am terrified that I need to use the bathroom.
So so we got in our corral, which luckily we were closer to the front than further to the back. The only thing I didn't like about the corrals is that you have to travel through. If you're in one of the front corrals, A, B, C, D, whatever it may be, you have to travel through most all the other corrals before you get there. So there's constantly people, you know, trying to get by you, trying to get with their friends, stuff like that. But it wasn't that bad.
No.
I mean, and you know, it is what it is. There's a lot of people. Like you said, there's like 20,000 people.
Yeah,
there,
we were
so
kind of trying to
what do
be
you
like
expect?
spaced. This was before social distancing. We were trying to be
social distance anyways.
Yeah, we were trying to be spaced out. We didn't want to be on top of people, but when it all was said and done, we should have just moved all the way up to the front of the crowd because
we didn't know.
there was people just pushing their way through, and all they were doing was getting in the front of that corral. So we'll know next time.
Yeah. So anyways, they count it down. It starts. Fireworks go off. They make a big scene.
There's a
run
DJ
through.
going.
There's a camera
There's
filming
commentary.
people. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then they do that for all of the corrals.
Yeah.
And you start, you run, you get into your groove. Of course, Samantha wanted to do a personal best.
Yeah.
I just wanted to finish. That's all I wanted to do. I wanted to stay on track of where it was prior, and we'll talk about the results later. But it's cool because you as you're running, there's like, I'm assuming high school band. There's little bitty bands.
Yeah.
They're playing music. There'll be a DJ. There's people pumping you up.
Yeah.
Groups, you know, cheering you and getting you going. And then obviously there are character stops. We didn't stop at any of them, mainly because the line was a little too long. But if you use the method where you run a little, walk a little, and you're not worried about a time, those are actually pretty good areas to stop and get photos with characters that you normally wouldn't meet, like Maleficent, the stepsisters, the evil stepsisters, stuff like that.
Yeah, but even if you don't stop, you're worried about getting picked up by the balloon ladies or anything, I mean, just running or walking by them is like super cool. And you can take selfies going by, and then it's just so much going on. Like at one point, about to go up a hill, there was the Green Army Man, and then the guy was hollering in the megaphone, and he was pumping us up to go up the hill. And we were pretty deep, like we were at least 10, 11 miles into the race. And
it's about 10 miles.
there was a guy that actually dropped and did push-ups in the middle of his half marathon. It was so cool. He like just told him drop it to 20 or something, and he actually did. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. So our race, we started in Epcot. Of course, you didn't start running through Epcot. You just ran down the road. But you do run to Magic Kingdom. And let me tell you, you got to Magic Kingdom around mile 5, I think it was.
Yeah.
And if you were winded by the time you got there, that was your second wind, because it was so cool running through Main Street USA, going around close to Tomorrowland. You go by the Seven Dwarfs Mine Train, you come back around the castle, run back through the castle, which, if you were in a group of a cluster of people, was chaotic because it's very narrow and you come out, you turn. But anyway, still cool.
Yeah, I almost got hit.
There's plenty of photo pass cast members taking pictures. So make sure when you run to stay on the left or the right side. Stay closer to the side. That'll get your picture. And we got some pretty awesome pictures.
Yeah, we got some cool ones. I can't wait for the next one that we do. That should be in about 27 days from now, but we're not going to talk about that.
It's going to be a year and 27 days now.
Something like that.
It got pushed back next year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so and then you run back and exit Magic Kingdom close to Splash Mountain in that area and get back on the highway.
So then you get to go behind those deluxe resorts, and that's pretty cool because all of the people that are like standing on the side are actually people that are staying in those resorts that actually just
like
out
the
there
Grand
drinking their
Floridian.
coffee. It's so cool. Yeah.
And you just keep going down that road.
Yeah.
You start making your way towards Epcot. Is what you do.
And that's a long ways. So you've got drink stations. I think it's about every 2 miles. They'll have water and Powerade. I swap it up. I drink every drink station, even if I don't stop. I just get it, and whatever goes in my mouth goes in my mouth, and then throw it to the side. And I'll get water at one, and then the next one I'll do Powerade, and I'll just do that constantly. So
yeah, you go up the big hill, and as you go up the big hill, you're really just going from one road to another, and it's just an on-ramp. And then once you get back on that road, you can see Epcot in the distance, and you enter Epcot from I can't remember what side. I guess it's the land and the Seas side of Epcot.
Yeah. So,
And
well, for this one we did.
Yeah, and at this point, Epcot was open, and there were people there. Actually, our friend was in Epcot and was taking pictures, not of us. I don't know if we had already ran through. You probably did. I think I was probably on my way through. But you run through Spaceship Earth, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, and then you go like behind the bathrooms or whatever, right past Spaceship Earth, and then the
finish line.
Yeah, the finish line. Even though my watch had already said 13 miles a long time ago before I even got to Epcot.
Yeah,
it was all the weaving and stuff.
Yeah, going back and forth, passing people and trying to get out of people's ways adds miles.
Yeah.
To your run.
My finish was 14.75 miles, so that was the longest I've ever ran.
Yep. Yeah, crossing the finish line is exhilarating. It is rewarding. You know, I could see why people cry when they finish this type of race, and then they've got stands and people were there, and you finished about 35, close to
40 minutes
before I did, which was this is about the normal pace of what we do now.
Yeah.
We don't run together now anyway.
No.
Because
he will
she
not
runs faster,
run with me.
and I just like to put my headphones on and zone out and just go.
See, Wade starts out super fast and then he gets slower. I start out slow and I get faster as I go, which is
different running styles.
Yeah, completely different. So.
But anyways, as you cross the finish line, there's drinks there that you can get. They give you your medal. You can go cool down and wrap your legs and do all that stuff.
Which I actually wrapped my knee because it was kind of hurting just a little bit because that's the longest I'd ever ran.
And then you've got your little box that you can get that's got granola and bananas and fruits and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then if you want to celebrate, you can go get champagne. You have to pay for it to stand in line.
You would just normally you'd do a package, and you would get that as part of a package. So we didn't do that.
So when I crossed the when I crossed the finish line, I grabbed a drink, got my medal, got my box, and then that's where I met you.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I just continued to run straight to the truck. Chris was waiting on us at Epcot.
He was ready to get to Epcot. I was like, let's calm down, let's stretch,
Nope. And it was a mistake.
Because by the time that we got to our resort, I
was
10
walking
minutes.
like an 80-year-old man for just driving for 7 minutes.
Yeah.
My legs were so stiff. So if this is your first ever race and you've never done any racing before, cool down.
Yes.
Now, will I do it next time? Probably not. But anyways.
Because he wouldn't even let me stretch. He was like, get in the shower, because it takes forever for me to get ready anyways.
Yep.
So anyways, we got ready, we got cute, went to Epcot, celebrated.
So that is pretty much the Run Disney experience in a nutshell as far as prepping, getting there, running it, finishing, so on. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk about the do-nots. The only pet peeves I had a few of them, and it wasn't Disney related, it was people related. And that would be the abrupt stop in front of you as you're running. The common courtesy is to put your hand up in the air to let the people behind you know that you're making your way to the side because you're fixing to stop. It don't work that way here.
No.
Because people want to take pictures at the mile markers and stuff. I almost completely plowed over a woman at mile 5. That's one big thing.
And you're supposed to put your arm up when you're stopping, but people will put their arm up, like they'll just go boop, and they'll stop as they're doing it.
Yep.
Well, I'm right behind them, and I'm going to flip over them, and I've actually seen people do that.
Yep.
So
be prepared.
Scary.
Yeah, always head up. Don't be looking down. Be prepared.
Be prepared.
Be prepared. All right. So another one is the water stations, the hydration stations and stuff. I'm sure at any race those can be very chaotic. There's plenty of people out there trying to hand you the drink as you go by. It's on both sides, so there's plenty of stuff to do. Like she said, there's a mixture of water, Gatorade. There may be some other stuff, I don't know. But those can get very tense because if you are in a big group of people, some people will continue to run they'll just slow their pace down a little bit, grab their drink and go. Some of them will come to just complete stop or a walk. And unfortunately, I did see a girl completely get wiped out.
Somebody did that behind me,
know,
in between
so-
Epcot and Magic Kingdom.
Yeah, so just be, it's almost probably the same place. It was weird.
Yeah.
That was about the same place
It's
as
like
where I did.
it's just a length of just straight road, and it just happened. It was
Yeah.
right outside of Magic Kingdom, behind the resorts.
So be cautious, if
Yeah.
you're going to get a drink.
So if you are running or walking at a Run Disney event, and you have 15 friends that are doing the same, y'all are all dressed up and y'all are all having fun, power walking or whatever you're doing, and you are stretched out across the road. The road is quite large. Tons
Most
of
of the
people
time.
should be able to, most of the time it's quite
Wide.
open. But don't just I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah, don't make a wall,
Yeah.
It
is so hard. That is why I ended up not with 13.1 miles. I ended up with 14.75 miles. Next time I'll be a little bit more prepared, because this was my first Run Disney and I was just weaving in and out. But mostly because people were making walls.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Pet peeve.
People. So the winds, everything but people. No, I'm playing. Disney Run Disney do a great job of putting these events on. Well, the one event we went to.
Yeah. But we've seen a lot.
The photo passes were very recognizable, so you knew it was coming. I didn't have issues with people trying to, position themselves in front of me, and then I was out of the picture frame or whatever. But
No.
you got your bib on the front. As long as your bib is visible, they'll be taking plenty of photos. It may take a day.
Yeah, some of our photos took about a day.
Or two to be uploaded to your
My Disney
My Disney Experience app. But once they're there, and they may not all come together. It takes a while for them to go through 20,000 photos and determine.
And you may get other people. It's just like when you do PhotoPass in general. So
Exactly. So the photo pass photographers, cast members were great. Running through the actual parks, to me, was the highlight of the entire run.
yeah, the more the parks, the merrier.
Yeah. And then 3, the people cheering you, especially on Main Street in Magic Kingdom, was awesome.
It's awesome. I couldn't enjoy it because I was about to, I had to get on the sidewalk off of the actual, the lane, because so many people was grouped in that spot. That was the only thing that I felt like I would love more. But once I got past Main Street and through in the Magic Kingdom, I was pretty excited. But it's pretty cool that many people was out there cheering and hollering for you. They got signs made. It's just really cool.
Yeah, it's cool.
The adrenaline of these races, I can have I shaved 5 minutes off my run time from my 2 half marathons that I ran before in my neighborhood, and then actually doing this race, I shaved a solid 5 minutes off of my time. I was at 2:01 something when I did my 13 miles, so that was pretty cool. The adrenaline, it's amazing.
Yep, it is.
Yeah.
It's surreal.
I actually saw somebody getting engaged in the Magic Kingdom, so in front of a photo pass photographer. That was pretty cool.
Yep. Another win is, we didn't take advantage of it, but it is having the characters out so that you can stop and take your pictures. Another thing that I was worried about prior to the race was you do have to finish in a certain time. So we were higher in the corrals, so it really wasn't a worry. Even if I wanted to walk the entire thing, I think I could probably walk it and finish before the last people or the time limit. But if you are towards the back of the corrals, just be mindful that there is a time limit that you do have to finish.
Yeah, it's 16 minutes per mile
Yeah.
from the very last person that crosses the start line.
Right.
So
Which it would be very hard to not finish if you could
unless you
finish.
did every photo, you're not going to be able to do it because
No.
there's those lines are long. So you'd have to pick and choose.
Our Run Disney experience overall was fantastic.
Yeah.
It got us hooked. Like I said, like we talked about earlier, that was our first ever half marathon. But the Race Expo.
Yeah, we didn't
Completely
even
forgot
talk
about the Race
that.
Expo. What the Race Expo is, it's where you go. It's in ESPN's World of Sports, and that's where you go to get your shirt, your bib, all of your race stuff that lets them know that you're there.
Yeah.
And
Just pick it up in person
Yes.
yourself, and you have to pick it up the day before your race because you're not going to be able to pick it up on race day.
correct.
So they start it whatever the first race is. So normally a 5K, they'll start it the day before the 5K race, and so you can go anytime before your race. So we
Yep.
went on Saturday, I think.
Nope.
We went on Friday. So
The day we got there.
the day that we got there, we did like a half day, and before we did anything, we went to the race expo.
That is it.
Yeah.
And there's so much merchandise that you can buy there too.
Yeah, we only
anything,
spent a couple of hours, and we didn't buy anything.
yeah,
So
anything from clothing to performance enhancements to
decals.
yeah, just anything. But it may have been because it was that Friday. It was jam packed. But that's the race expo.
Yeah, so there's not much to it. You can spend 1 or 2 hours there. You can spend 5 or 6 hours there. You can get drinks. There's like music going on. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's on Disney property.
Yep.
And yeah, so you do it however you feel like it fits you do it however you want.
After the race, one of the cool things to do is wear your medal
Oh
in
yeah.
the parks. So we wore ours actually for the last 2 days we were there.
Yeah, because I mean,
The
why
day of
would
the
you not?
race and then the next day.
Yeah, we were only there for a long weekend, so we had a couple of days after, or the day of the race and the day after the race, we had park days, and we wore medals to the parks. Epcot was the day that we did our race, and we dressed up and did Epcot for
all day.
Okay, so I almost hit 50,000 steps that day. I had 30,000 steps before we even started our park day.
That's our Run Disney experience. Let us know in the comments if you've ever ran a Run Disney event. Let us know which one it was, what you liked, what you disliked, if anything.
Or let us know if you are interested in Run Disney, or if you have tips for us for our next Run Disney race.
Yep, November 2021.
Yes.
As of right now.
Yeah, and we're running for St. Jude. So if you did not know that, link is down below. We have $5,250 to raise, and we are at $3,805 so far.
Very close.
So, yeah, if you wanted to donate to St. Jude, they're a wonderful charity, and that's what we're running for this year. So, yeah.
Yep. So make sure to hit the like button, hit the notification bell. That way you are alerted every Monday or every time we put out a video. Right now it's every Monday. It may change. We'll see. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and we appreciate it. Bye.
Bye.
Do what? We can talk about groceries. We can talk about groceries.